Hey Brad, how are you? Welcome to Law
Uh,
Stories. Thanks for coming on.
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me.
This is cool. This is nice to get into another episode. It's a lot of fun. Firstly, my friend, tell everyone on the internet who you are.
Oh, well, I'm Brad MF 117. Uh, I'm. Oh, have we got
Ooh,
audio issues?
no, I don't know. You just started floating away. Are you okay?
That's what happened. Give me. There we go.
Yeah, you just
It was
started
some stream
levitating.
magic.
Yeah, that was good.
What can I say? I'm magic. But yeah, I'm just a internet idiot. I stream on Twitch.
I totally promise I
Oh,
won't
something's
murder
gonna
you.
happen.
Oh,
Fuck.
no.
Awesome, man.
So
That's
yeah,
very cool. Favorite video game of all time?
it's. I'm gonna betray it a bit. I've
Uh-oh.
got to say the Pokemon series in general. It just
Ooh.
hooked me so much, and it was the thing that I could take gaming outside of the house.
Yep.
So like
Yep.
back of a car, using street lights as we passed to try and see the screen,
Yep.
and just that sent me down my gaming journey.
That's fair. That's fair.
100%.
I was an avid supporter of the OG Pokemon.
Yeah, yeah,
Like your red and blue, like it split the playground. Like, oh, you play blue, but
oh,
then
it
the
did.
link cable
It
came
really
out,
did.
and then suddenly we could
Oh
actually
yes.
trade Pokemon with each other. And that was cool. And I never had the later Pokemon games. I claim it's because I'm some kind of filthy Puritan, and there's only 151 Pokemon. I just never had them, and then I never got into them. And now, when I hear people talk about Pokemon, I have no idea what they're on about. I claim it's because they're filthy, but it's just because I never had those toys. That's awesome.
I hide my shame, but I've played I think all but three of the mainstream Pokemon games. It's
Awesome.
some of the Switch ones that I've kind of let fall by the wayside
hmm
because I'm like buying more important games.
Well, they hit so well with the anime series. I think it nailed the target audience so incredibly
A
well.
100%, 100%, and just everything that spawned from it. I'm a huge trading card game fan. Uh,
Awesome.
Pokemon went to Yu-Gi-Oh when people knew how to play. Magic the Gathering, classic one, and I was a huge World of Warcraft TCG player
Oh,
way
great.
before Hearthstone was a thing.
Awesome,
Uh,
buddy. That's
I
very
think
cool.
I was one of the top 10 in the UK for a while.
Oh,
So I was like,
look out.
not
We got a celebrity on the show.
bad.
Very
But
cool,
yeah,
dude. Do
I'm
you have
terrible at Hearthstone. Terrible at Hearthstone.
I think I played that for a little bit. It was neat because it was different, but I never really got into it.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Magic the Gathering. I still love Magic the Gathering. I've played very little of the actual card game. I'm glad they are slowly porting a great deal of the cards onto the actual the PC game. I've been enjoying that a lot, off and on. It's it's
Oh
it's
yeah, same.
we're talking Magic the Gathering. We are talking about a game where there's an official rule that says your deck can be no bigger than if you need someone else to help you carry it. Like, and I
Yep.
used to have just shoe boxes of the stuff, and
That
it's
was made because of Yu-Gi-Oh! A fun
really,
fact.
did they make that
Yeah, there
rule?
was a yeah. So before there was a limit on deck size, these two gents uh, wanted to see how big of a deck they were legally allowed to use, and I think there's a quite a notorious meme of them. But they're wearing like suits and fedoras, I believe, and their deck is about 2 meters long.
Yeah.
And that was the reason they had to bring people in to say no deck limit size because it took about 25 minutes to shuffle the deck,
Yeah, yeah, and it's
which was nearly half the time. It's just
yeah,
ooh, not good.
ridiculous but awesome. It's nice to be in an environment for a game that's new enough that you can have those problems. Have you got
Oh,
a
go on.
couple like shoe boxes, boxes? Is moving house hard because of how many card
Oh
games you
yeah.
have? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Right there is kind of a one, two, three, four shelf from floor to ceiling, full of card game stuff. There's Dragon Ball, there's Chinese, there's some stuff I got given free as a sponsorship, which is pretty cool. I got to
Ooh.
open yet. And then behind me here, behind this imaginary screen,
Hmm.
I've got probably about 12 to 15 big albums of cards, all like
I
ordered
forgot
by
about
number.
card albums. I actually forgot they were a thing. Yeah. Awesome, dude. I have that
They're
issue with
heavily
books.
invested.
Yeah, there's a time when you're moving house, I think, where you go, there's a few sections. There's the A, why do we still own this stuff we never use, where, whatever. Oh, we've got an outdoor garden setting. Never fucking use it. Why am I paying money to have this moved around from house to house? And then there's the acknowledgement of how filthy you are as a human being. When you move house, you kind of go, oh, the back of my fridge is horrendous. Why do we not all have some sort of exotic lung disease?
This one
And
side of the bed I seem to have never swept under. Jesus.
yeah, right. Why do
It's
I
just a
never
mountain of
ever
crumbs.
lift up my couch to see what's underneath? A, it's everything I've ever lost,
Yeah.
and B, it's disgusting. First video game you played?
The first video game, I think, was probably Pokemon Red or Blue. But my
Really?
mum was a huge gamer growing up.
Your mum is immediately awesome. Yeah, great.
Thank you.
Gonna have Brad's mum on
So
the show,
like,
everybody.
my first knowledge of gaming is there was always a PlayStation 1 in the house. Um, then PS2 very quickly, which was guised as a present for me, but it stayed in her bedroom. So
Oh, I love
yeah,
that. That's such a clandestine. I remember working with a guy when the latest Red Dead Redemption came out, and I was chatting to him, and he's talking to his girlfriend. He's like, "Hey, good news, babe," and she was like, "Hey, what?" He goes, "I got us a present," and she was like, "What?" He's like, "Red Dead Redemption." She was like, "Are you fucking playing with me? What is this? Like, how is this a gift for us?" I love the fact that your mum is trolling the family with, "I got my children a PlayStation," because she doesn't want to admit that
oh
she's
yeah.
a gamer, and she kept it in her room. That's Your mum is
I
awesome.
think
She's
I had
just
about 2 games, and the rest were hers. And it was normally "Can you come help me beat this level?" or "I can't get past this race," or something like that.
yeah,
And just that was my introduction into gaming, just helping my mum complete games. And
that's
then I slowly
awesome.
got a collection of my own.
That is so good. And people forget there was some bangers out on like PS1 and
Oh,
certain
Crash
games.
Bash, all of the Crash Bandicoot
Well,
games.
there's Crash Bandicoot,
Like,
there's like your Croc, and then we got into Pandemonium
yeah,
when they started to really work out some of the cool light settings. But then you had like Parasite Eve and the Final Fantasy game.
Final Fantasies, yeah.
Um, there was
I think the
Silent Hill,
beginning Resident Evils and Silent Hills, of course.
and they really sort of like snuck in under the radar. It wasn't like there was no
Hmm.
like Xbox versus PlayStation. There was kind of a Sony versus Nintendo thing, but they just graphically captured such a different audience, like just different capacity for
Yeah,
things. Um,
it was
yeah,
very much 8-bit, and then like the quality of what you could get out of a telly.
yeah, 100%.
I think were the two paths they took,
And then
which is I think what
PlayStation,
helped keep them from competitiveness for a
yeah,
few years.
they couldn't really tread on each other's toes. It was much more
Mm,
cartoony. Even the games that were meant to be a bit more serious on the Nintendo 64, it was more cartoony. You had amazing draw distance.
yeah.
PlayStation, if you did anything like Spyro the Dragon has amazing draw distance, but there's not much being drawn. They couldn't do it with Silent Hill, so they made Silent Hill a foggy game, and that just birthed the whole friggin' genre. So, there's two games that were both quite close to my heart in late. Oh God, I was gonna say later gaming life. No, they're all fucking old now. Um, Two games that were both very, very cool. One is called Mirror's Edge, published by Electronic
Ooh,
Arts, and a game called Dead Island, published by Deep Silver.
both amazing games.
Yeah, Dead Island, of course, you run around a tropical island fighting zombies with or without your friends, making slightly zany yet effective upgrades to your weapons, adding lawnmower blades onto a wrench because why not fighting zombies?
Hmm.
Uh, and Mirror's Edge having, to the best of my knowledge, the first parkour system for
Yeah,
climbing. The combat was very cool. And then a
very
lot of the
flowy as well.
yeah, I think you actually got points and boosts for continuing to run without stopping, which is the philosophy of parkour, which I believe is a French philosophy of
Yeah,
always having an escape route.
I believe it was founded by David Bell as well. And some people, if they've seen the film District 13, not could be confused with District 8. The District 13 is a kind of uh, it's basically a ward in France. It's been shut down due to the government, and the citizens have taken over. And he's one of the main characters, and he uses parkour throughout the entire film. And yeah, it's truly amazing. If you haven't watched it, definitely check it out.
I'm definitely snipping some B-roll and presuming I'll never be famous enough to get caught. That'll be great. And so then the team from Dead Island, inspired but didn't work with anyone as far as I could find, from Mirror's Edge, created the Dying Light game, the first Dying Light, which is
Mhm.
zany zombies with your friends in a ruined city, amazing upgrades to your weapons, and the parkour system for climbing, getting into and out of trouble. But of course, you've just finished playing essentially back to back to back all the Dying Light series.
Yeah. So in the last 30 days, I just looked at some stats yesterday. I've spent 120 hours playing through Dying Light 1, the following DLC, Dying Light 2, the Bloody Ties DLC, and then about 10 minutes of the Beast. And the 10 minutes of the Beast was 5 minutes of just the stories, and then I spent about 5 hours of the story, intro story and such, and some side missions, and then 5 hours of just exploring the world. I wanted to try and like learn some mechanics of the movement, just explore really.
Very cool, very cool. And that's, I suppose, what inspired me to want to have a chat to you about it is I enjoy when sequels are done well, and you're in a prime position to have that conversation, just playing one after the next after the next.
Yes, sir.
I felt that when I played Dying Light, I remember going, "This feels like Dead Island." So how did you find when you picked up Dying Light 2? How do you find that how do you feel it compared to Dying Light 1?
Well, I'm in a unique place because I played Dying Light 1 from launch. I played it three full times over now, with one of those being a co op run through. I've spent about 250 at least hours in the game. That's just on my PlayStation. Um, so Dying Light 1, I understood to the core, like all of it. Dying Light 2, I was warned about it from the early adopters. So they
Ooh.
were a bit like, it's full of issues. Stay away if you love Dying Light 1 truly. I was like, okay.
Mm,
I was like a bit busy at the time anyway, so it was kind of easy to put it on the back burner. So, beginning of October, just gone, was my first experience with Dying Light 2. So, it is a labor of love, like you were saying, because the updates are still coming in. I think an update came out 2 days ago for the new Halloween event.
yep.
Um, so, when I first started playing at the beginning of October, I think a patch had just released in August to fix some
Wow.
of the nighttime aspects and less floaty parkour.
Hmm.
And we mentioned about David Bell earlier. David Bell was actually brought in on Dying Light 2 to assess the parkour and design some of the aspects of it. And it seems that during the uh, original coding aspect of getting into the game, they disagreed with a lot of his ideas, and they wanted to make it feel like players had more options uh, before they choose where to go.
Hmm.
That's why they kept making it a bit floaty. But as they've removed that now in my playthrough, I love it. It's truly an amazing game. I really believe that. It's such a nice continuation from Dying Light 1. Uh, I believe because Dying Light 1 was set in 2015, and then Dying Light 2 set in 2036. So 21 years later. It's cool how they've evolved the lore to keep up with that time difference, as
Mm.
well as everything in it. So the system of leveling up isn't just the more things you punch, the more things you do this. There's actually lore behind why you're able to level up like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
I love that. I
that
love
type
when
of
they,
stuff is so nice.
yeah, I love it when they tie the mechanics into some. It doesn't have to be a lot, but into some part of the story reason, being that
Hmm.
even in the Beast, because that's an interest. Dying Light the Beast because you play the same main character as from the first Dying Light. Um, and it is always interesting in sequels when you're playing the same character, and it's like, hey, Batman, you were a total badass when we finished the last game. Why are you not a total badass now?
Yep.
Um, and in the Beast, they've certainly reworked the tech tree. It's a much smaller tech tree, and you do start with a range of skills, but it's story relevant. It's because you've been kept in a cage and
Yeah.
experimented on, and you're essentially unhealthy, and you need to go get your health back, so to speak.
Yeah. I really like how they did that because it's if you played Dying Light 1 to like completion. So you did all the side quests, everything, played it entirely how they wanted you to play it. All of those skills would have been unlocked. And I just like that how my Kyle Crane from Dying Light 1 and the following feels like the Kyle Crane in Dying Light the Beast.
Yeah.
Like I can directly feel the connection. And one little thing about the Beast that I didn't expect to really like, it's how they've adapted the cutscenes. So Dying Light 1 and 2, you always have first person cutscenes. And
Mhm.
Dying Like the Beast, they've added in full-fledged cutscenes, the way you see Kyle Crane fully, and you're like looking at him and looking around the room, and the way they intersplice it with first-person cutscenes is just so pleasant for the user, pleasant for the gamer to go through.
Mhm.
And
It's
that's what I think the first-person cutscenes really lead to the immersion of the game,
mhm.
because you really feel like you're actually there. These are circumstances, and then when you're interacting with the characters, you feel their emotions more. I know it's maybe a weird thing to say for a video game, but like someone's been shot with an arrow, let's say here, and they're grabbing your shoulder and looking at you, like asking for help.
Mm.
It's like, wow, shit, we need to help this person quickly.
Yeah.
Like, and it's one of the only games that's made me feel like that.
Yeah. I like it when things like that are done well. I'll play a game and it'll be like, oh, we've got to get back to the very important place. And you go, right, we've got to go over there, rush, and you're running, and then you're like, there's no time limit on this. I can actually go and do a different
Mhm.
quest. But they got me with a sense of urgency. They got in my head, and I went, no,
Yeah,
we got to get there. We got to do it now, boys. And I like it when a main quest storyline gives a sense of urgency that you find yourself just doing it and doing it and doing it, and you actually have to break the immersion to go, well, let's go and do a side quest
yeah.
because you feel like, no, this is important. I should do it.
You
Um,
accidentally end up in Act Two already, and you're like, oh no,
yeah,
I'm,
yeah,
I'm halfway through the game.
yeah. Whoops. Um, this has inspired me actually. I think I'm going to stream now Dead Island, the first one, because apparently the second one's not
Ooh,
crash hot, at least not yet. But I never finished Dead Island 1, and I played the
I
balls out
didn't
of it.
either.
It's a really long game, and it got to the point where I'm loving it, loving it, loving it. You get to the second act, oh my god, the zombies are so much harder. Loving it, loving it. You get to the third act, cool, 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 and then you're like, I've kind of just had enough. Like I can only binge
Yeah, I think
watch so many episodes till I go, I'm going to take a break.
I think that's where my co-op playthrough fell through. We were all lagging a bit by the end, and it was
You're
just
just
like, oh,
exhausted.
we have real life commitments to get to now.
Yeah,
And it's just,
that's
oh,
it.
we're grinding through this. It's just, yeah.
It's just there's a lot of zombies. Um, I found in Dying Light 2, and I think it's actually just the default field of view is wider, and so the actual character that you see in front of you doing things feels just a little smaller, and that makes the game less
Mm,
intimate, I found. And they actually have gone back to the previous default field of view in the Beast, and so it feels like I'm Kyle again. Really gives that sensation. But
yeah,
I just felt things were a little less personal because just of that field of view change, your player character just took up slightly less of the screen, which makes sense in a world where you've now got skyscrapers and bigger buildings and there's actually more to see. But I found that as an interesting um, sensation, I think, in the game. It
yeah. I didn't
felt
notice it
more like
straight
I was
away.
playing a game rather than playing a character. I know it sounds really silly,
Yeah,
but I'll try
I
and
know
cut it
exactly
in
what
with
you mean
B-roll
now.
so it makes sense, maybe.
Like I noticed I noticed what you mean, but not right away. I think it was about 30 hours in probably of Dying Light 2, where I was more used to everything and I was less looking at where to go for little things to grab or whatever, and I was taking everything in as a whole. And I definitely started to feel that. And now you putting it into those words, it completely gave that feeling. Like 100%. It was a bit more. It gave it a bit more of a comical playthrough. Something I felt more like when I used to play. Oh, was it Dead Island? No, Dead Rise. Oh, it was something with dead in it.
Well,
Shopping mall, and it was like you get bonuses for more stuff you killed, and the goofier ways you killed them. It
Dead
reminded me
Rising, the
more of
video
that.
game. Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, that's what it reminded me more of, especially with the vibe of the Bloody Ties DLC.
I never played Bloody
So
Ties. I think we had this conversation. You didn't realize
yes,
that the following was an actual playable DLC.
no,
And I didn't realize
embarrassingly so.
that Bloody Ties was a playable DLC. And this brings me on to really my only particular criticism of the Dying Light franchise. There is an extraordinary amount of DLC that you can buy that is only cosmetic.
Yeah,
And it's constant. And I go, new DLC. And I'm like, sweet, new DLC. This isn't DLC. And it in no way changes the gameplay. I don't. I'm surprised Dying Light isn't a little bit more popular than it seems to be, because it is a really cool series of games. At the same time, I'm not going to want to spend money for the bragging rights to stand around in front of my 3 other friends I can play with to go, look, I spent money to make myself look cool, and that literally in
Yep.
no way affects my gameplay. Like, at least in
Yeah,
Warframe, it changes my skills.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I completely missed the following, because you just see that wall of add-ons, and it was Made of Magic in chat was the one adamantly telling me to look at the following DLC.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, fine, go through.
And
And
it's
one good thing
awesome.
is with the enhanced edition, you get, I think, the first 5 years of DLC for free. That
Oh,
includes all
brilliant.
cosmetics and whatnot.
Yep.
So I had a few cool costumes, a few skins for car, what all, you know. It was nice to have them for free, especially because the game was included on PlayStation Plus. But yeah, I looked into the following DLC, and I was so surprised that I spent about 20 hours in the following, like just exploring the story. It's such a good DLC,
Yeah.
and
It's
I
it's
just didn't
everything you
expect it to
want.
be there.
Yeah. Right?
Like, wow.
You would have not played one of,
Mhm.
do I want to say one of the greatest? If you're looking at a lot of ticker boxes, what you want for your DLC, for your expansion
I
pack,
think
if you're old enough to remember
yeah,
those, that's everything you want. It's
of course.
more of the same that you love, and bigger or different maps, a few different enemies, and some story content.
New
And you can,
mechanics too.
yeah.
Like it was the first introduction of driving.
And the buggy
There was
was
new
cool. Who
enemies.
didn't love the buggy? It was sweet.
Yeah, I loved upgrading it, running down hordes of zombies. It
Yep.
added new skills, its own separate driving skill. And I believe it was about £8 in the UK. And so that nowadays, when you're looking at games costing 70 quid or like
Mm,
140 odd Australian,
mm,
that's a real value for money.
yeah,
Because I could go back in there and play another 20 hours of content because it
that's
had,
it.
I think it had a good ending, a bad ending, and a secret ending, the same as Dying Light 1 did. So,
Really?
it's just
Gosh,
so,
I'll have to go back and play them all
yeah.
now. I know that in the end of the
But
following, you pick a bomb, or I think there's like a nuclear bomb, or there's some fucking warhead or something, and you pick one that goes, "What if you
yeah,
picked the other one?" Is the achievement I got, and I went, "Sweet," but I never went back
nice.
to the. I figured it would actually be the same, and the game was just trolling me with the achievement, but I never went back. I didn't realize there was a good bad secret ending for Dying Light 1. I didn't realize you had enough
Yeah,
options.
that's what some of my chat was saying at least. Um,
Okay.
so I'm going off what they say, but yeah,
I mean,
the
if you
endings to
can't
the
go to the
following.
comments for the expert's opinion, where can you go?
Oh, exactly. Like, tell me about it. The following, I really liked the fact that I was just finding like abandoned military stuff, and I was slowly putting it together myself. Like, there's radiation stuff happening now, and just
Hmm.
I love how you can along the way just stumble into the different endings.
Yeah.
For
No,
my
that's.
canon playthrough, we rejected the mother's offer, I believe,
Hmm.
and she injected us and made us a sentient volatile, which I think the devs call the most canon ending because it plays into the
Yeah,
beast.
okay, that makes sense. And that's interesting because in Dying Light the Beast, he talks about how he gets captured. And having only played the
Yeah,
following the one time, I'm like, what do you mean he gets captured? I don't remember that happening at all.
there's a really cool scene at the end of the following with the ending I chose, which they use the same scene in the beginning of the beast, and he's
Uh,
like running through out of the following area, and he basically crawls through a sewer and breaks out into this new land, this new area, and then he suddenly starts to go and just turn, and then people having a normal day in the background just start screaming. So
oh,
it's kind of
very
said that
cool.
he's the reason the infection spread more, and then it
Oh, I
goes
like
into
that.
him
He's the
going on the
reason it broke
run.
out of Haran to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. I love that. According to my very quick Google, apparently Dying Light only has one ending.
Ah,
Uh,
goddamn chat.
because I've played it through at least 3 times. I think I did it twice on normal and once on hard. Um, and then I don't know, Dying Light 2, I enjoyed it. I remember saying I adored Dying Light 1 and I enjoyed Dying Light 2. I think it's more than just that field of view, but it just feels a little less intimate, or maybe it's simply because it's not as impressive because Dying Light 1 exists. To play Dying Light 1
Yeah.
for the first time, I think it scratched an itch for a lot of nerds. You play enough zombie games, you get into your favorite zombie game for a while. After about 2-3 hours, you start to go, how would I use common household items to defend myself in a zombie apocalypse? How would I Project Zomboid my life? Um,
Oh yes.
and by the time Dying Light 2 came out, I kind of, yeah, well, we've already established I'd be climbing over buildings and everything. Every child looks at a building and goes, I bet I could climb that. Bet I could.
Oh yeah.
Especially boys, because boys are stupid. I bet I can climb I can climb those bricks all the way to the third floor on the outside. Um, but then I never had too many massive bugs in Dying Light 2. I did have a few issues. I'd shoot one zombie with a fire arrow, and zombies that are just like on the separate, like far end of the room would catch fire. I didn't have a huge problem. There is a lot. I've not found much in Dying Light the Beast, but a lot of sort of fan service hidden content. I didn't find out
Mm.
until much later when I'd finished Dying Light 1 there is an Excalibur in Dying Light 1. You need a certain amount of health to
Yes.
pull it out, but you pull it out and you got yourself, but it's stuck in a stone, sword in a stone, the whole thing. Um, Dying Light 2, you can find rubber duckies, and I found I think maybe 3 of them or 2 of them at least. And I googled it at the time, and they said, "Oh no, it's just like a service from the devs. It doesn't do anything." But I think that's because no one had found them all at that point. Because I checked it recently. Someone's put a guide up on YouTube. If you find all the black rubber duckies in Dying Light 2, you unlock the force choke ability, and you can just force choke zombies,
Oh
which is
man.
amazing.
I didn't. I had no idea about this.
And I remember
That's so
finding
cool.
I found a few buildings in Dying Light 2 that clearly had you had the big cables that you plug in, like you got to run around with the cable and you've only got a certain amount of
Yeah.
meters. I found a few that clearly went somewhere and they weren't a part of the quest. And I'm like, where does this go? What am I trying to do? I have no idea where to go with this. Um, and in Dying Light the Beast, Dying Light 3, I did find a reference to Eminem in a bus. There's a zombie with
I
a
saw a short of that.
yeah, a zombie
I
with a
saw
hoodie
the
on,
short.
and you pick up the note, and it's
Yeah.
a very clear and deliberate, yet tongue-in-cheek retelling of like knees weak dad's spaghetti or something. State of Decay. Did you ever play State of Decay?
I haven't, but I've seen quite a lot of the gameplay. And is it the third or the second that's due to release, or like
Third.
people are waiting for release? Third.
Yeah. It's I've got a few lists of just talking about sequels. But in State of Decay, they have is it The Evil Dead, one of the sort of really like serious pop culture reference zombie horror films. And you go into a church and in State of Decay and in Blood on the Wall it says where do the dead go and hell is full. And I remember
Ooh,
like, hey,
cool.
that's rad. Well, it was one of
Cool
my
reference.
first experiences of uh, that fan service, that putting in the pop culture reference. If you don't like zombies, you wouldn't have seen the zombie films. And if you don't like
Yeah.
zombies, there's no way you'd be playing this game. So it's kind of a
100%.
safe bet. Um, you haven't finished the Beast yet, so I don't want to spoil it
No,
for you. But
unfortunately not.
spoiler alert for anyone. I should have like a spoiler alert disclaimer um, at the start, like a flashing lights warning. How did you feel about the boss fight in Dying Light 1?
Oh, mixed reaction, to be
Hmm.
honest. It was a bit more of a slideshow presentation.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of just quick time events.
Hmm.
So I was a bit disappointed we didn't have like a really cool showdown.
Yeah.
But if you give me a quick time event boss fight, that's one of the best ones I've played. So
Oh, okay, that's a
while I'm
good
a
way
bit,
of looking at it. Yeah. Of all the
while I was a
quick time
bit
event boss
disappointed,
fights, you enjoyed that
yeah,
one the most.
the only one I could think about that was kind of similar on par is a bit of a deep cut. Naruto Ninja Storm 4, I think towards the final boss or like a replaying in the beginning. There's
Hmm.
just a big 2 minute long like quick time event. But it feels satisfying at the end.
Yeah.
Just like Dying Light 1 did. Because they give you story beats through the quick time event
Hmm.
that make you care. And you don't quite on my first playthrough, I didn't know what was going to happen. Because of Aiden's storyline about who he is and who Rice was. The more you find out, the more invested you are in those little moments at the end. So I think the way they built up Rice as an enemy, and then like the pit moment
Hmm.
when he tosses Crane into the pit and tries to make him fight all the other infected. Super cool moment. Big villain arc energy. Like gets his hand cut off, doesn't really care.
Yeah.
Like immediately cauterizes the wound on some wood. So truly a cool villain. I would say I liked it. I'd say I liked the boss fight
Yeah.
because it gave me that emotional response that I needed from killing him. Because
Yeah.
I felt like when you fight his henchman and his bodyguard previously, when is it Jade, your female companion in that one?
Was Jade in the second one? I keep getting their names mixed up. But yeah, the female companion from the first one. I know who you mean.
She spoiler alert again, unfortunately dies because she gets bit by a zombie and she gives you the antizin to save
Yep.
you. That whole emotional roller coaster. It really made the boss fight mean so much more when you're doing so much less.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, I really did like it, I think. It was a different type of boss fight, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I was always in two minds. I never hated it. Um, I suppose you spend your entire game mastering how to fight. What they do well is that fighting zombies and fighting people are very different kinds of
Mm.
fights. Um, a part of my brain says the game's kind of like, hey, you just spent the last 15, 20, 30, 50 hours playing our game, fighting all the zombies, fighting all the people. We'll give you a break. You made it. You
Yeah.
fought. They do quite well. Although I don't remember it so much in Dying Light 2. Dying Light 1 and Dying Light 3, you really, really feel like you're getting towards the end boss because it's hard and there's lots of fighting and it's a little bit
Mm.
relentless. And then you get to the end boss and it's a quick time event. I don't hate it. It's good story,
Yeah.
but it's other than opening endless baskets, it's like the only quick time event in the game. I don't think there are any other quick time events actually in Dying Light 1. I think that's a part of why it's jarring. There are, other than constantly press F because there's zombies trying to kiss you.
You're I can't believe I didn't think of that before. You're
Yeah,
completely spot on. There's
that's
no
what
other
does it
quick
for
time
me.
events.
And again, if it's the devs saying, "Hey, relax, you've done all the fighting, you made it here. That's the really really hard fight. We're just tying up the story here. Thanks, well done." I do remember there's a scene where you're trying to run back to the tower in Dying Light 1 and you're sick, and you start because you're sort of zombifying at this
Yes.
point, and so you start kind of hallucinating. And I remember as soon as I did that, I went, I hope they use this engine to make the new Dishonored game because I was a big fan of the Dishonored
Ooh.
series. Um, I don't know if they did or not. I couldn't tell you what engines any of them are made in. Um, Dying Light 2, the boss fight in Dying Light 2 felt much more of a grind than a fight. And don't get me wrong, I understand that all
Mm.
games are parkour and menus. Um, and especially in Dying Light, you're definitely just trying to, once you understand your particular enemy, especially in the Dying Light series, because you've got so many different sort of tropes of enemies. The boomer, you leave it alone. The spitter, you try and close the gap. Some of the big guys, you learn their combos so you don't. And some of them are nice bluff combo. They'll swing their arm and you'll run in to
Mm-hmm.
hit them, but they're coming back with a second whack. You've got to pay attention. Um, the end boss in Dying Light 2 was very much just I've got a small selection of moves that I'll just use over and over and over, and you'll just have to hit me 100,000 times. I found it the arena was cool because you had to actually like
Yes.
bob and duck and weave around to get to him on the different levels. I found the fight a little underwhelming, and I don't remember the lead up to his fight being much of a
I'm
challenge.
struggling remembering the whole fight, to be completely honest with you. I can't remember who, off the top of my head, I can't remember who the enemy is
It's
in
just
the
Dr.
final
Evil,
Dying Light
whatever his
2.
name is. He's given himself a bunch of drugs, because
Yeah.
cliche Dr. Evil. And he hits the ground and the crystals, because there's a
Rem-
weird like crystal vibe in Dying Light
that's
2.
it.
Kind of that, or he's smashing at AoE attacks. Um,
He reminded me so much of Wesker from Resident Evil franchise.
Yeah, okay. I've
I think
never
it's
really
Wesker.
played the Resident Evil games. I played the original on PlayStation briefly when I was like 8 years old, and it was a
I
bit
think it may have
much.
been Resident 3. He's in the film as well. That's most of my Resident
Oh,
knowledge
okay.
goes from the films.
Oh, okay.
But he had very similar vibes to him.
Yeah,
Very
yeah.
similar.
Which, look, I don't hate, and I do sort of get it because you've kind of got my enemy either has lots of attack, lots of defense, or lots of health, or
Yeah.
maybe lots of speed, depending on your character arcs, or not so much depending on your game mechanics. Um, I will say I was very, very pleased with Dying Light 3's boss fight, which I won't spoil for you, but there's a definite sense of where we're going on the journey. We're in the end game. It's big fights with just regular zombies to get there, and then not so much the regular zombies, big fights with humans to get there. And the last boss fight was good. I really enjoyed. They really mixed up.
Very nice.
It's not a quick time event, so if you just wanted to press
Thank
Q
you.
at the right time, you're out of luck. Um, but there was a lot of I'm fighting this person like he's a regular person, and then I'm fighting him like he's a big
Cool.
boy like I am, mixed in with let me dodge some of your big attacks, which I can actually do
Nice.
myself. I do like it when the enemies have the same attacks as you. It does bother me when it's like you're the chosen one and you've got all these amazing skills, but
Yeah.
other enemies can just who aren't the Dragonborn can totally just counteract some of your skills for no good lore reason.
Agreed. Agreed. Actually, that one thing I will say about Dying Light, now I'm remembering the Dying Light 2 boss fight. One thing I liked about it, it removed all your weapons. You were transformed partially, and
Oh
it was like
yeah.
volatile on volatile. I really like that a lot because I will admit, my Dying Light playthrough, because of the Bloody Ties DLC,
Mhm.
they introduced some, let's call them exploits.
Mm.
Like, there's a well-known baseball bat called the Rooftop Party Stick or something like that. It's
Mhm.
basically one of the Bloody Ties missions. It's this 1 to 2 hit baseball bat you get given for free, like 2,000 durability. If you throw it down before the end of the mission, it's there when you go out of the mission.
Right.
That may have been what I did, just as a
Maybe.
little nighttime keepsake. Because I get terrified of nighttime in these games. Like the Beast,
Mm.
even my very little experience with, it's so much more scary. It seems like they can see my light from so much further away,
Mhm.
which has got me using no light,
Mhm.
which is even more terrifying. So I'll just have an icon appear and then hear a
Yeah. I'm glad
but
you
no.
brought that up. That wasn't on my list of things to discuss, but that's really, really worthwhile. So for those of you who've never played Dying Light, why are you on this episode? But so Dying Light, clues in the name. During the night daytime, regular zombies, maybe a few nasty people. When the sun goes down, you obviously can't see very much, and there's some big boy zombies. They're very, very hard to kill. It's very easy for them to kill you. They're very fast. They're very scary. You don't want to be around at nighttime. You have safe zones, which is a mechanic I really enjoy for some reason. I really like unlocking safe
I
zones.
love it too,
It's such a
especially
good
with the
little
UV
mini
lights
game.
outside.
Yeah.
It
So you've
makes me
got the
feel so
UV lights
safe.
at your safe zone. You can throw some UV lights. You've got a little UV light torch, although I don't think you get the UV light torch in Dying Light 1, where you actually shine it on them.
I don't ever remember using it, but I think it was like a given to you to help with volatiles at some point. I
Okay.
never used it because
I'll
I got the
yeah.
grappling hook I beeline to all the time.
Yeah, once you get
But
a hook shot in Dying Light 1, it's a bit ridiculous, but
so nice.
good fun though. And of course, in Dying Light 1, the idea is the GRE, the good guys, are dropping resources, which you can collect during the day, but if you're not fast enough, you have to either fight the bandits or you lose the drop. And if they drop at night time, you're usually the only human trying to get there, but of course you have to lurk around at night time, and it's very dangerous and scary. And I actually thought that was a really good mechanic because it was really worthwhile getting the drops. You got a lot of
Definitely.
resources, and it was a really good excuse to get the player out at nighttime, where normally you would just go, I'm not going out at nighttime. But of course, you got double XP running around at nighttime. So you were
Yes.
rewarded for taking risks, and you lose experience when you die. I really liked Dying Light 2, being that you're infected with just garden variety zombie virus. And
Mhm.
they don't really explain it, but when you think on it, it's kind of like vampirism. So long as you keep taking your medicine and you stay out of the dark, you never turn into a
Yeah.
zombie. Um, what they introduce in Dying Light 2, of course, is a timer. You can only spend so much time in the dark, and you still have the chase mechanic of the big, scary, volatile zombies coming to kill you. Um, and you want to spend
I love
time
that
in
mechanic, by the
UV.
way.
It's really
The
good.
the the timer for the dark. I love it, and I love how they added the UV shrooms in the lore as well,
Yeah,
like relating to the chemical attacks, and
yep.
just everything flows into each other and makes
They
so
did
much
that really
sense that you
well.
don't question it at all.
Yeah. So of course in Dying Light 2, I did when you start out because you're really, really unhealthy, you can only spend a very small amount of time in the dark. But there's dark areas you have to go through, and so not
Yep.
only is it I'm sneaking, I'm lurking, which in fairness was done so well because once you learn essentially how to crouch, crawl around, snap necks as you do in Dying Light 1, suddenly in
Yeah.
Dying Light 2, if you get too close to the zombies while they're asleep, they'll get up. If you shine your torch on them for too long, they'll get up. If you make too much noise, they'll get up. And you don't have all the time in the world to sneak past them. You've got a
Hmm.
limited amount of time. The more you level up, the more time you can spend in the dark. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was cool. I
Yeah.
appreciated that it existed and it did well. I thought they did it well in the game, but it pissed me off having stamina for climbing. I get it. It was executed well.
Hmm.
It took a
It,
little bit away because I can't just keep climbing and doing amazing stuff because I'm going to run out of stamina, and that bothered me only because all of a sudden we had skyscrapers in our Dying Light universe.
yes.
You could
I
almost get away
remember.
from it in Dying Light 1 because there are no buildings bigger than like 4 stories.
It's the tower. That's it. And
Yeah,
there's an elevator.
yeah, there's a lift. Yeah. And then, of course, in Dying Light the Beast, you play Cole Crane, who, for lore-friendly reasons, is just an absolute tank. He doesn't get tired from climbing. He'll climb all the merry day long, but there's like one tall structure in the whole game, which is that
Yeah.
like art tower thing. Um, yeah, but I
It did get
really
annoying in Dying Light 2 with the stamina.
it did.
Just constantly, like, just for me, it was just the running. It would be, I'm suddenly out of breath every
Yeah,
15 seconds, and it's like, it felt like lagging getting from one place to another.
yeah,
Now, the grappling hook and the paraglider, as you unlock each, really help. And the
hmm
more you support a faction, the more accessibility opens up.
hmm
But it's a slow grind at the beginning,
yeah.
definitely.
There's things I don't like about Dying Light 2. The faction stuff, I understood it from a story perspective. It just bothered me that there's a range of really useful resources, and I get it. It creates replayability, but from a lore perspective, they've got a whole range of tools they can use to make the world safer, and they're just like, no, no, I'm not going to use any of this stuff unless you give us access to some weird windmill that's not actually connected to anything. It's not real. Why is
Yep.
everything a windmill? They're not milling anything. They're not using it to generate electricity. They don't do anything with it.
Why is every fuse box fixed with a piece of metal or
Yeah,
just a stone
I,
just jammed
I,
into the fuse
in
box?
the Beast, you have to find the fuses. I really like that.
That's so much better.
Right?
That's so
And it's
good.
almost
That's
like,
what it
yeah,
should
it's
be.
kind of silly that we send in like Cole Crane's a mercenary for hire. Aiden is fit and is essentially a mailman. Um,
He's someone who walks a lot. That's basically
yeah,
it.
he
He
walks a lot, quite good at climbing, good at running, can hit with a stick, and apparently was also an electrical engineer in a previous life.
yeah.
He's just like, don't worry,
Once
guys, I've got this. Let me reroute all this power.
every
Um,
single time I'd do a turn on a windmill or something, my chat would erupt. Like, oh, that's how you use electricity then, is it?
yeah,
Ah, seems
that's
safe.
yeah. I'm glad when you go to all these like lock boxes that 100% of all lock boxes you can just pull them open. That's fine.
Yep.
It's not fair to pick on the mechanics. The mechanics have to exist for a reason. It's just like you don't reroute electricity from a down substation by just plugging random parts of the substation into different parts, sometimes
Yeah,
underwater.
and then unplugging the previous loop,
Yeah,
which somehow doesn't get rid of the electricity that's flowing through.
that's it. And even in the Beast, I find it. There's substations, which is a nice little mechanic. I like it because it brings electricity to the area, so it gives you progression and rewards for doing it.
Hmm.
And they're not safe zones. I like that, just because not everything
Yeah.
becomes a safe zone. At the same time, something happened which brought the electricity down. So I'm going to run a cable from this tiny room over here, just out in the open, for like 20 meters to this other room. The zombies will never knock it over. It'll be fine. It'll be
Across
fine.
rooms, across
Yeah,
stairways,
yeah,
like
across
out of
buildings.
windows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fun mechanic that isn't fourth wall breaking. You don't stop and you don't. Maybe after you've done it once or twice, you have a bit of a chuckle, but you don't stop and go, "This makes absolutely no sense." The suspension of disbelief is still there.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the combat in Dying Light? Because it's you tend to kind of get two sorts of zombies in fiction. The like shambling like Michael Jackson's Thriller. I can hit everything in the face once; it's already decomposed. The Walking Dead sort of zombie. Most of them aren't actually tough. Hit them a couple times, they die. Or they're really hard to kill. Or your 28 days later zombies that are infected with the rage virus. They're essentially
Yeah.
healthy people that are messed up and they're coming to kill you and they're running. I would get frustrated sometimes that I can cut some zombies in half really easy. Other zombies for no reason are totally tanked up.
Yeah.
And I would sometimes find that frustrating. I think they've met that quite well in number 3 because you have, which was introduced in Dying Light 2, you had areas and different areas would be harder.
Yes.
And they've reiterated that in the third game, I think, really, really well. I remember playing
Yeah. I like that a
Dying
lot.
Light 1, and you get to about mid-game if you're playing on normal, and you just cut through almost every zombie like it's made of butter. And I remember I was chatting to Midnight about this. Um, when you unlock some of the more elaborate bombs and traps in Dying Light 1, if you're playing on normal difficulty, by the time you get those traps, you don't need them. And I remember getting them and
100%.
distinctly thinking, these will be great when I play on hard. And they were. Um,
Yeah, 100%.
Dying Light,
Unfortunately, a lot of the aspects of those later game weapons, yeah, they just lose their use entirely.
you just don't need them.
The main use I had for them was giving them to my friend when he was starting his new. He was starting his first run, and
Hmm.
I was using my old save, and I just give them to all of him on his fresh save,
Yeah,
so he could just chuck them, no consequence, and just have fun with it.
yeah, yeah. Which they've changed up a little bit. I didn't play a lot of multiplayer, certainly not for Dying Light 2. I did a bit. I still had housemates when Dying Light 1 came out, so I played with my housemate. Dying Light 3, I played a little bit with others. They've certainly put a few more limits on the items you can share or the items you can drop. It's very much
Oh,
this
okay.
is a higher tier item, so you need to be level X to use it. Um,
Okay.
I don't remember that existing in Dying Light 2, but I didn't play a lot of it on co-op. Um, I suppose I'm being overly critical because on one hand, some of the zombie fights it shits me that they're like a shambling rotten corpse and I just have to keep fucking hitting them. But the
Yeah.
zombies aren't the enemy, the zombies are the environment. And I guess that's the thing you got to kind of remember. It's about climbing, distracting, getting past. And so when you do fight
100%.
them, it's a slow tide that kind of comes up. Although you can sort of clear areas, like you want to get into a whatever, an abandoned tank, you fight everyone and they generally once they've all you start a fight, you win the fight, the other screamers come running at you, you clear them out, and then you've got a few minutes to yourself to open the damn box.
Yeah.
And I guess
Like
that's the thing
Dying
to
Light
remember.
1, with the combat in Dying Light 1, felt a lot more, early on at least, panicky. Like, you'd
Mm,
sometimes struggle to handle 2 or 3 enemies, depending on obviously your weapon level and such. And each zombie, like one zombie, all right, fine, I could either dodge or just trip him over.
mm,
2 zombies, you kind of plan differently. But when it gets multiple, like 5 plus, like,
yeah,
okay, separate route time.
yeah,
With the Dying Light 2, I noticed maybe it was because they put it on intentionally because of the time difference, but they were much squishier. Like 2, 3 hits. The first hit you'd
mm,
see their head cave in partially,
hmm
then you'd see brain, then you'd finish them off. Uh, they felt a lot more weaker, and maybe because of the environment and like time skip, they've been walking around in the sun for 15 plus years.
sure.
So I did like that. But then when there were randomly ones that were just sponges, that would get
Yeah,
very frustrating.
that's I
And if
think
they were
that's what I'm
hidden in a
trying to
horde,
articulate
uh,
badly. You would just for no reason you'd get just one that's just like, no, I got 3 times the health, and I'm not a
yeah,
special zombie. I'm just a regular zombie, and
yeah,
it just
it would just be a big dude, but
mm.
it would just be like, it's like hacking a tree.
Yeah,
Just
he
when will
ate a lot
you
of
fall?
protein before he died. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's what it was. Yeah, they've some of the things. So we'll talk about a few other games as well, but it's interesting just to go through kind of not so much the storytelling, although we'll touch on that, but it is fun to see how the mechanics evolve,
Mm,
good and bad. So of course, in Dying Light 2, you're essentially allergic to darkness. There's a range of different items. You can stand in UV lights. You can use your own little UV lights temporarily, and you've got UV mushrooms, which are a consumable item that he kind of just rubs on his skin, and you add to your
yeah,
timer of how much time you can spend in the dark. That was a new mechanic. There was rooftop gardens and things. I did like that it was a bit
mm,
more. This isn't Lone Survivor in Zombieland. It's hey, the
yeah.
world started to rebuild a bit. That was a really nice idea that I would have liked to have seen executed a bit better with some of the safe zones. There weren't
I want
safe.
more to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Like more, give 'em a bit more character for each one. Not like
Mhm,
individual characters, but characteristics
mhm.
of these places. Because
Yeah.
I think in the game, lore-wise, they'd been around for about a decade. So
Mm,
you would have had things from closer to the zombie apocalypse mixed with things made way after.
yeah.
It would have been cool to have like this is kind of where the doctors are, or like maybe not doctors, but artists, or just different groups starting to evolve, maybe, or
Yeah.
each kind of one
Different
having
sort of
its own flair would have
subcultures,
been really nice.
basically. You know, we're
Yeah, yeah,
we're near the water, so there's a lot of fishermen here. That sort of thing.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
yeah, they felt a little lifeless. You unlock a windmill, you give it to one side or the other. Um, for some reason, I forget what they were called, but there's like the villagers who are just adamant,
Oh, the
adamant.
peacekeepers,
Peacekeepers
was
were
it?
like the
And the
random.
survivors?
Was it survivors? Yeah, but they were just adamant
I th-
hippies. Like they're
yeah,
just
the
as violent
the
as the others,
survivors.
but they're just like, no, we're definitely hippies. And then the peacekeepers who are like Third Reich fascists. Why? No reason. So why are you
Just
total like this totalitarian regime? No reason. We believe in law and order. It's like, no, you don't. You believe in killing zombies. Like everyone, like just sweet. Like, what is the problem? And then
it
there's
could have
this whole,
combined and coalesced.
yeah, so it's almost like hidden third faction, which is they call him the butcher or whatever, and you get to him right at the end, and it
Yes,
was getting to him, which was like the trailer for the game,
that's
and it's just
yes.
completely fucking irrelevant. Has his own town, has his own everything, feels like he definitely should, totally fucking irrelevant.
hmm It
And
was entirely for like the final flash up on the screen, like you can no longer go back after this. You
yeah,
must continue. Like you're entering the final aspect,
yeah,
and it was just a conversation with him. You find out he's a colonel, then he asks you to trust him, and you go out a door to your left. That's
yeah.
it.
Please,
That's it. I was
please,
so
yeah,
upset.
please leave. I thought you would have the choice, depending on your actions, that maybe that town is still around and you've got a whole nother town. Like it just, considering what Dead
Yeah.
Island does, where I think on maybe 3 occasions I thought I was finishing the game and it just kept going. Um, you go, great, we're going to make it out of the resort in Dead Island, and then oh, now we're in the town. Okay, cool. Now we're in like this jungle-like area, and now we're in like a different jungle-like area. I'm like, I'm kind of done, guys. And that's before I get to, I think there's like an asylum DLC, something like that, a prison or
Oh,
something.
yeah, we didn't get to that bit either.
I think it was a prison, and I remember going, oh, this is hard, and I was like, I was done. Um, I will say, to Dying Light's credit, before I go back to the evolution of game mechanics, it said like every choice you make has a consequence, but like every other game says that, and it's really not true. And I thought the game was talking about I can give the windmill to the good guys or the bad guys. But actually, when I did my most recent replay, if you just take different actions, you can go on completely different quest lines and quests that I'd never seen before, and I was
Is this
really
two?
impressed. This is two.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I was suddenly like really impressed. Oh, let's because you try to sort of role play it, not initially games that you can role play, I don't play Oblivion and go, I'm gonna definitely beat this character. That's not how I do it. I do the things that I like because I'm role playing myself. But then I might really specifically try and do it, and I stopped and went, what if I really try and do these other things? I remember in the trailer, because I watched all of it, they're talking about you decide who gets the water, and he kicks the dude out the window.
hmm
I was really upset because in the cutscene, he pushes a zombie out the window and he follows him down and lands on him. You couldn't do that.
Yes, yeah, you didn't break the fall.
Yeah, you couldn't do that for like the first 9 months the game was out. It wasn't a thing. They added it much
Yeah.
later, and I was really disappointed.
And the knife billboard slide from the trailer as well. That was
Yeah.
only added this August.
Oh, is that in now? I'm gonna have to play it again.
Yeah. I randomly found it on a playthrough.
That's very cool.
It's only like 9 of the billboards apparently that you can do it on.
Okay,
And I found the one from the trailer. Just
great.
randomly, didn't know how to do it. I was falling because I fell out of my paraglider,
Yep.
and I was button mashing, sliding down the
Yep.
side of a building, and suddenly knife.
Awesome.
It was amazing. It felt
Awesome.
so cool.
When it's done
Loved it.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if they had more planned in Dying Light 2 as regarding to your actions and consequences. And if maybe it was just getting a bit too much, because it feels like
It feels like there is.
Yeah, there was
It feels
very
like they were
deliberate.
planning more.
Give the windmill to the blue guys or the red guys. But then the fact that literally the different actions you take in the quest without a clear do A or do B, it's just how did you do this quest,
Yeah.
determines different paths. I couldn't believe it when suddenly I'm playing the game maybe my third time through, and it's like, no, there's an underground train that you can't see, but you need to follow it above ground. I'm like, what is this quest? What is all this? Like, there's a whole
Damn.
new series of stuff that I was just completely blown away with. And I almost would have missed. I almost would have missed so many different versions of the quest. Because
That's really cool.
I think I was dicking about and had a bunch of boring meetings at work, and I went, oh yeah, sure. And I'm just quietly playing Dying Light over here. I did like that when you finished the game, although it was a little immersion breaking, depending on how you finished the game, left the end game content a certain way. But then once you sort of, like, you could have everything be destroyed by the nukes and it's a wasteland, or not. But if not, you can go into like the flooded area, which actually had quite a lot of loot in it as well. Again, I feel like they planned more for that than we actually got, because it is substantial and you spend 5 minutes in there.
Yeah, I completely forgot about that till you said, but yeah, the whole sunken city aspect and
Yeah,
everything.
because where the butcher guy lives, he's like lives on a dam.
Yeah.
It's a dam, and he's dammed the whole area in specifically so the dead can't get out.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the last didn't the last series of missiles get sent out at the very end of 2?
I think
I
it's
can't remember if you
at
managed
the
to
end
stop
of
them or not.
2. Is it dependent on your actions?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
that's the thing.
That's it.
So you might have like the Wasteland
Yes.
City or the Flooded Zone, something like that. And so essentially this butcher who's been built up as like the bad guy, the whole game is essentially like, no, there aren't any really good decisions. I can either keep all the dead here under the water, which is a little weird because zombies in both Dying Light 1, Dead Island, and Dying Light 3 drown really easy. But never mind.
Yeah. I noticed that. There's tripping into a little bit of the sewer. Just there.
Yeah, well, there's
away.
a real comic book vibe to Dead Island. Like you get their health would pop up above them.
Yeah.
And you're just constantly just throwing people into the pool. Constantly. I enjoyed mechanic-wise in Dying Light 3. They still have all the elements from the previous games. They're just not relevant. So
Yeah.
you can still find honey and poppies. They're crafting tools, but they're not big deals. There's no specific
I enjoyed
gardens.
that though. It was nice. It felt well rounded.
It did. Yeah, it felt like I'm in the same universe, which I thought was really good. That the mushrooms are there and you find a group of people that are actually using them. I don't know if you've got that far yet.
Yes, I think I just touched on that.
Okay, yes, they've got them in a cave. It's not so much I care about spoiling it for the audience, because if you watch a podcast about a video game, you're going to get spoilers. I don't want to spoil it for you because you're not there yet.
The last story mission I played was we found a secret out about the sheriff.
Okay,
if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
And she's done a bit of a runner.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
that's good. I Was I disappointed? I feel like I was disappointed. I guessed the identity of the beast. So, for those who don't know, you're not the beast in Dying Light. The beast is someone you're chasing. I'll just leave it at that. But I went, oh, is it
Which
going
was
to
a
be that?
very cool realization for me. Because going into the game, I just assumed I was the beast.
You do, because you're the one
And
being
then,
all the yeah. And
yeah,
then
after a few hours, I'm like, oh no, I'm definitely not the beast.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
who is this man?
it's someone we're looking for. I did.
I love it.
It was a fun little. So at the very beginning, you're in like a laboratory, etc., etc. There's the Baron, who's kind of like Rice. He's not the world's most creative bad guy, but so what? I get past it, and there's like another person, and you can't quite see them. You can only see their legs, and you go, "Oh my
A
god,
bit of a
who is it?"
beard or
Yeah, and then it's like, it's not like you would recognize him. That's the bit that got me.
yeah.
Even when I'm like, I think it's this person, and you go, "Oh, it is that person," and then it's like, why are they hiding their face? You would have no idea what their face looks like. There's no reason anyone would actually know what his face looks like. It's silly. And you go, oh god. But I like that. Just mechanic wise, the spiritual successor from Dead Island, and it very much felt like Dead Island with parkour. Awesome. We had the nighttime
Yeah.
mechanics in Dying Light 1. We had good reasons to go out at nighttime. We get double XP, and we had the night drops, which are very cool. That's the only mechanic I'm disappointed I didn't bring back, was some sort of night drop. Hard to do and keep it lore friendly, but it was
I
cool.
wasn't sure if I hadn't gotten to that point or if just they'd ceased my
Yeah, because it's the GRE that drops them, and they're no longer around. So that was good fun in those areas, because night was scary. I think it was my fourth playthrough of Dying Light 1 that I realized the zombies can see your torch. Because
it
the
was like
zombies,
the second or third for me, yeah.
yeah, because the zombies are always coming at you during the day, so it makes sense they're always coming at you during the night. But I remember standing on a roof, my torch wasn't on, and I kind of went, "What's that in the darkness right next to me?" And I turned my torch on, and all the zombies turned around, and I went, "Oh, the zombies actually react to my torch. Otherwise, they can't see me, and I can't see them. Cool."
Yeah, I really like it.
I assume it's
It
the
makes it
same
more scary.
It does, because it's scary to be in the dark, and you're potentially safer in the dark. Dying Light 2, I assume it's the same. I feel less stalked in Dying Light 2. I feel, because darkness is now also the enemy, because you've got a constant timer, I found
Yeah.
myself less just strolling around at nighttime, because you had to have a real plan.
There seemed to be a lot more UV spots as well on roofs.
Yeah,
Like there would be like unofficial safe zones.
yeah.
Where there wouldn't
Especially
be
if
a
there was
bed
a
there,
mission.
but it
Yeah.
would just be like a guy's house or something, and he's
Mm.
just standing there surrounded by UV. It's like, okay,
Yeah, and you
cool.
could just chat to some random NPC. Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think, which makes sense, if you only had the safe zones, imagine the Dying Light 1 map, and you're allergic to darkness. Like, cool.
No, thank you.
So I guess that makes sense. And then Dying Light 3, not allergic to nighttime. Things very much so detect your torch, and the volatiles especially. What they've really fixed up in Dying Light 3 is if something explodes and makes a noise, the zombies run to the
Yeah.
noise. Whereas in Dying Light 1, and I think 2, if something made a noise, like you hit a barrel, you got 5 seconds till it explodes, you're in a completely different building, that explodes, all the zombies run to you. That used to
Yep.
shit me.
I
I'm like,
hated
where's
that
the point in
Dying
that?
Light 2.
Yeah. To the point I
Mhm.
found myself, you have the guys with the gas tanks on, and the gas tank flares up, they float around a bit, they explode,
Yeah.
and I turn around ready to fight everyone, only to find they're all running away from me towards the noise. I enjoy the beast mode in Dying Light the Beast. It's lore friendly, it's good fun,
Yeah.
it's essentially go Super Saiyan for a few moments. It's
Yeah.
not
It
a
reminds
lot.
me a lot of Rage mode from God of War series.
Yep. And I was
Like the
thinking on
Spartan
it,
Rage.
I've completely forgot you have a rage mode in Dead Island. I completely forgot. There's a thing. There's like you power up, and I
Yeah.
remember because I used to play the Japanese spy, whatever she was, and she just had all these throwing knives, like unlimited throwing knives
Yes.
for a moment, and I
I
had
played
completely
it as
forgotten
Sammy
about
B.
that. Yep. That you did have a version of that. which is not unique.
Yeah.
If anything, you would argue it's a slightly dated mechanic that people stopped doing, and now like beanbags,
Yeah.
now they're cool again. And they brought it back. I think it works really well. It's lore friendly. It gets its own little skill tree. You're not immortal, but effectively immortal. But you can't like run into the darkness and fight the nasty guys. They'll fuck you up
Yeah.
because
It's like you have
they're in beast
correct
mode all the
amounts of
time.
plot armor.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't last for very long. As you level it up, it lasts a little bit longer. You get skills. The skills drain the meter. So if you are going to smash the ground or like Falcon punch somebody, you're going to run out of juice a bit sooner. I really enjoyed that. I thought it was done. It was done well because it's like, hey, you're playing the third game now. You've probably played the first and second.
Yeah.
So why don't we just allow you to go ham on a few zombies? Or if you're actually in a pinch, you can just mess people up.
Yeah. I love it.
One
I
of the
like how you can
level,
store it as well.
yeah.
That was a nice thing.
Once
Once
you've
you get
leveled
the
that up,
upgrade,
yeah,
and
you can
it
store it
feels
or you
like
can
you're
turn it on
actually,
early.
yeah, and it feels like you're actually like getting better at using them, like
Yeah, you're
canonically in
gaining
game.
control, which makes sense,
It's
and
super
I
cool.
enjoyed that. One tiny mechanic they've changed. I don't think they did it in number 2. I think it's unique to 3. A zombie will sort of grab you, and it's mash F to push them away. They
Yeah.
can pile up on you in 3. If a zombie's mashing,
Yeah.
you get a
I
second
noticed
one
that.
comes up, and then a third one, and you start losing health quicker. And I thought that was cool.
It's really cool. I'm a huge fan of that because it did feel a bit weird when you would grab by one zombie in a horde, and
Mm.
it's like, okay, you guys not paying
Yeah,
attention?
you're not hungry anymore. It's like a respect thing among zombies. Um, and they've really touched up the jump scares. They're small,
Yeah. Oh.
but they're done effectively. You walk into a room. Sometimes you can really see them coming, but they'll just lurk out from a corner right in front of you, and it plays a little noise. You go, "Oh, you got me! You got me! I'm playing a horror game. It's not just an
Yeah.
action game."
I get jump scared pretty easily. Like for other games I've played, I've been jump scared by small animals. I've been jump scared by snow. I've been jump scared by the air itself. A lot of things make me jump. And
Good.
Dying Light's done it so
Yeah.
nicely because there's
So,
certain ones where, oh, I need to turn on my flashlight, and I didn't know there's a zombie here.
mhm.
So I turn on my flashlight in game, and a zombie immediately grabs me, and
Yeah.
I'm full on just what's going on? I
I
thought I was
love that.
alone. I love it. It's so good. And
Oh,
one thing I did notice the change from Dying Light 1 to 2 and the Beast, which I'm a bit annoyed at, which was just a very small thing, but it's such a quality of life feature I found. When you would loot lockers in Dying Light 1, it would automatically reorientate your camera to the loot. So if you'd hold down
yeah.
square, it would either look at the bottom of the locker or you'd look at the top little shelf. Dying Light 2 and the Beast removed it,
Mm,
and it made looting like that 4 stack of lockers you might find
mhm.
so much more tedious.
That's
And
I did find
I
it a bit more
missed
tedious. Yeah.
I just
Um,
missed that aspect of just your guy. It felt like your guy would open the door and he would just automatically look at where the thing is.
yeah.
I don't know, that
Which
one
is
little
sort of what you
change.
would do in real life, considering 90% of the locker is empty. It's not like you got to rifle
Exactly.
through like old jackets and bags and things. Yeah, you'd go,
Hmm.
there's nothing here, there's something there. Like, how long does it take you to look at an empty box that has one thing in it
Exactly.
and go, there it is?
Immediately your eyes are drawn
Yeah,
to it. And
yeah,
it's just such a strange thing to have removed in my eyes because it's like a 10-year-old game having that minute aspect to it made it so much more enjoyable to play.
yeah,
And they've removed it. It's just
100%.
a bit weird to me.
Yeah, I agree. Um, but I agree that it's a really good feature. Is it now more realistic? Because now I have to do the looking.
Yeah,
You
see,
know,
swings and roundabouts on
yeah,
that one.
where do you
Very good
go on
point.
that sort of thing? Um, there's an Australian possum out during the daytime, running away from the rain. That's what I get for
Oh.
gaming outside. Virtually. Um, there was one more mechanic. There were, sorry, 2 more. Volatile nests in the first one. They were cool because if you went during the daytime, all the volatiles were asleep, and so
Yes.
you couldn't really clear them out. You had to go at nighttime. There were fewer volatiles. You would kill whatever the baby volatile at the end or whatever. I forget. It's been a long time. And if you cleared
It's
them
like a
out,
thing in the ground or something,
yeah,
wasn't it?
because they don't really talk about it.
It got weird.
They nest. They sort of nest. I think that's what, and they're just kind of growing and evolving. Um, Anyway, if you cleared out a volatile nest, it was a good challenge, and it meant there were fewer volatiles in that area of nighttime, so it made nighttime a little bit safer. To my
Yeah,
knowledge, nothing like that existed in number 2, and I think it's
I don't think so.
planned for number 3. The reason I say planned for number 3 is you find a few volatile nests. Yes, you go into some of them for quests. There was one I vaguely thought about going back to. You see like a baby volatile, and you leave, and I'm like, do I want to go back there and throw a bunch of grenades? But the fact it's not a mechanic, at least not yet, I don't imagine it'll do anything. It'll just get me killed. But there's a safe zone. There's the town hall, and then nearby it's a church or something. It's like the most nearby safe
Yeah.
zone, and there's a tunnel. And as you go through the tunnel, I would sometimes get a pop-up, and I don't know if it says clear the volatile nest or come back at nighttime or find a way in. And there's clearly a door that's covered in volatile goop, and there's nothing you can do with it. And as I've just finished the game, it's not really discussed. So I imagine it'll be something they add later, or as our friend Midnight said, it'll probably be like a DLC and become like a thing you do with your buddies, which will be cool.
Yeah.
And the dark zones, which were introduced in 2. So these are
Yes.
special points of interest that are dangerous, similar to the volatile nest, I suppose. That the idea is they're safer at
Yeah, I'd
nighttime
say
because all
so.
the zombies have wandered out. They appear to have made them easier in number
Yeah.
3. I haven't gone into any of them at nighttime, but I realised,
I popped my head in, that's it.
yeah, because I remember them being much harder in 2. But also, I never really needed to go into them. It's hard. I didn't really like it. I don't want for anything in 2. The things I
Yeah,
need aren't found there. Okay, I can find valuables and stuff, but by the end of the game, you have so much money, there's nothing worth buying. I actually
exactly.
almost completely finished the Beast, and I still had the habit of sell all your valuables, which is the button you press when you go to the trader, and I went, oh, I don't want or need any of their weapons or armor, but I should have been buying all the miscellaneous goods I can use for upgrading and crafting. I just completely forgot to do that. So here's me finished the game with $36,000, and I'm like, well, I guess the shops aren't super relevant. But of course, now all in Dying Light 3, the Beast, all the dark zones have a blueprint you can collect.
Yes.
And so it's
That's very
worthwhile
interesting.
going at least once because you get the blueprint. And I do like how they've done this mechanic. You see the dark zone once you've discovered it on your map. If you clear it out, it grays out on your map, but will color in again once it's reset. But if you look at it on your map,
Ooh.
you'll have a tick on the blueprint. So you go, have I been there before? Yes, I have. I got the blueprint. Sweet.
Okay, that's very nice.
But the loot will respawn if I just need scrap metal, etc. I can go back. Um, and they've changed the convoys. The convoys aren't a lockpick anymore. So you go there to get
Okay.
ammunition, and it's very much convoys are for ammunition, dark zones are for particular valuables, and perhaps a blueprint.
You get a card off
You
a
get a
zombie, isn't it?
card. I don't
believe,
have
right?
any specific memory of getting given a card. So I think the idea is you just kill military zombies in the area, and one of them will have it. But I remember just unlocking one, going, "This is fine. He just has the card." But then I went, "No, I've obviously killed one of the zombies nearby, looting on automatic because that's what I'm like." I've picked it up because I went to another one, said, "You don't have a card. Find military zombies," and I smashed a few heads and found one. I thought that was a nice way to do it, and a nice way to change up what is essentially it's the same thing as a dark zone, right? It's just
Yeah.
outside. Zombies, they're tough, big fights, and rewards, and they've changed how that operates. So I thought that was a cool step up.
Yeah, definitely. I only
Just a way
found one
to
of the convoys,
yep,
but it was super cool running across it. It was during my 5 hours of just exploration,
yep,
just to have a greater idea of the game for when we spoke about it today.
yeah,
And yeah, randomly stumbled across it, looting zombies. I found the key card. I had to connect power together and stuff, and then
hmm
I found a legendary pistol. I was like, oh,
awesome,
sick.
yeah,
I think there was a special zombie that breaks out midway through
hmm
in this one that I found. But yeah, I loved it. It was super cool new activity and a really unique way to bring in new stuff.
yeah. What they've done, rewarding you for exploring. So there's treasure maps, which I'm sure you found at least one.
Yes, I found a
Um,
few of those.
I found a bunch. I actually did one. I thought I'd sort of go back and do it later. The one thing it doesn't seem to do is it doesn't say like it's in this area. I think they're always nearby where you find them. But if you find them and you keep going, you suddenly have to go look at the little scribbly picture and go, fuck.
Whoops.
The one I did, I'm assuming they're all similar. It was cool. It was very much its own little unspoken story. It was once you're out in the fields that are very reminiscent of Dying Light the Following. You connect power from one random little building to. There's like a brick ruin that somehow has a working fuse box and three-phase power supply. You plug that in, you open a hatch, you go down, there's a few zombies. But it's very much just an untold story that they were just running an organ farm. You've got a bunch of beds that are all bloodied, and it talks about like the price for kidneys and things. It's like these guys were playing RimWorld where everybody else was playing Dying Light. And there was some really good loot. And then literally for the sake of exploring, it might be a treasure map, and I just found it anyway. I just went to one of the areas on the map that was completely unexplored. It was one of the forested areas near the south of the map. I just ran off, just went, let's just go see what's up. There was a few chimneys, little metal chimneys coming out of the ground. I was like, well, what's going on? And I found a hatch. I climbed down the hatch, and it's an old like prepper dungeon. I don't know what they're called.
Oh,
like when preppers build a prepper bunker.
Yeah, that's it.
And you had to sort of jiggery pokery through a few vents and stuff to get in, but it was full of the unique UV lights that are from the second game, but they're like a consumable and really hard to find, and you can't make them. And they're really powerful and worthwhile. And I just thought, this is cool. I'm being rewarded for exploring, which is so nice.
Yeah.
Especially since the game doesn't really make any mention of, hey, go out and explore a bit. It gives you the binoculars that you get from number 2. But it's a little less specific on you should go and explore. So I was glad that they've obviously put the content in to reward me for exploring. I love that.
Yeah, it felt super rewarding and super natural as well. There was no major break between, all right, I'm doing quest things now, and then I'm going to do exploration. It was like on my way to a quest over there. I mean, oh, what's this? I'm just going to detour slightly to the right, and just it's such a nice way to do it, and it felt so fluid. It's really, really nice.
I think they've done really well, and I could give criticisms, etc. Sometimes he seems to jump really, really high to latch onto things. Other times you're like, why can't I reach this?
Yeah.
I have no particular hole to poke in Dying Light the Beast. Yeah, I could get really super critical and some shit. I don't want to. I don't see the value in people that go, oh, they did this literally unplayable. I'm going to go to Reddit and complain because I'm an expert. So fuck off. If it was something that was really disappointing on launch, you don't have at this point mastery, whatever. Once you max out all your skills, you then level up further.
Yeah. Mastery or legendary.
Legendary, I think it is. Yeah. Which is great. It really lends itself to replayability. But it wasn't out to start with in Dying Light 2 either. It is in their roadmap. I'm not fussed. I like the fact they went.
It's cool to have a roadmap.
Yeah, let's have fewer mechanics. Launch the game so that way, if anything monumental is broken, we actually just have fewer things to worry about. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a clever strategy to bring people back to the game after it's not quite as hot. So in sequels, I've just gone back to my notes here. I do enjoy when a game handshakes between the old mechanics and the new, and the old story elements and the new. As we've kind of covered, there's always a pro and a con. It's always a challenge if you play like games that have been coming out forever, like Resident Evil games. Now we're in the era of remakes because nobody can come up with a new fucking idea, apparently. But at the same time, if the story for the Resident Evil or the Silent Hill franchise was incredibly strong and lent itself very, very strongly to each subsequent game, I couldn't pick up the new Resident Evil game, the new Silent Hill game, the new Batman game, the new Battlefield game. I couldn't pick them up and play them as a new gamer. I'd have to go back and be like, well, let me find Wolfenstein 3D on DOS
Mm-hmm.
and play through that, and then play the next Wolfenstein and then the next Wolfenstein, so that I know what's
100%.
happening. So it is always kind of it's a balancing act.
Ooh, what was there was a franchise that did a really, really good reintroduction. I think it was God of War. When they
hmm
kind of started up God of War again, like the Norse aspect.
Yep.
I think they did a really nice way of being able to just you can jump yourself in at this game. You don't have to play the 7 beforehand,
hmm
and along the way you would get more of the story and everything. I think
Yep.
that's the only one I've played that's got a
Yep.
good mid jumping in point.
Yep. It's well, Dying Light the Beast. I completely forgot. Actually has like a previously on Dying Light button on the
Yeah,
main menu,
yeah.
and just say, hey, this happened. You don't have to play them. You can if you want. You don't have to play them.
I do loved having
Yeah.
that little
Like the
feature
Lara
in there.
Croft games and that sort of thing. You kind of go, imagine if I like that as a Elder Scrolls games. I'm a huge Elder Scrolls nerd. It's nice that each game is set like 500 years apart or 1,000 years after the
Yeah,
previous game. So you go, there's nods to it. I like that in Skyrim, when you're fighting Dark Elves, they go, Saint Nerevar, protect me. And 2 games previously, you were Saint Nerevar. That's a nod, and I really like it. I like that in
yeah.
Skyrim, Alduin's Wall has references to like Elder Scrolls 1 and 2 in this long prophecy. But I don't have to play them. But it's
Hmm.
I don't so much
The
fan
reward, they're
service.
rewarding for the person that has.
Yeah,
It's a little nod, I think, to those people
I'm
who.
not forced out. I'm not kept out as a new player,
Yeah,
and I'm not ignored as a returning player. I think that's what
yeah,
that is.
perfect way to put it.
Um, so a couple of sequels I wanted to go through. State of Decay. Have you played those games?
I haven't played them myself.
hmm
I've probably seen about 6-10 hours of
Okay.
gameplay.
Yeah, really, really good. I knew.
Very interested in them.
Yeah, I never knew. I think I already asked you if you'd played them already. Um, so State of Decay, for those who don't know, a zombie sandbox with some very light but quite engaging town management.
Mm,
You you start out with a very small band of survivors. You need a certain amount of resources to keep people happy, and also to manufacture things. You can find whole units of resources, or you can claim locations that will daily provide resources. You also do missions to save people, and through various means, they will join or leave your home. And as you find new areas around the map, you can move into bigger areas that have more facilities if you have the minimum number of people. Um, you essentially crack open your map and you go through every building you can possibly find looking for resources. And as you go through those buildings, they actually get crossed off on your map. In State of Decay 1, you had the ability to call survivors from your camp. You go into a home, you clear all the zombies out, and it says like you get a temporary safe zone around here, so no new zombies will spawn in that safe zone. They'll come in from the outside if you're being chased, but if you're quiet and don't dick about, you're now safe. You know you're safe. You can now loot this area. In Dying Light 1, you could call people from your base to come and loot this area on your behalf. You would see them on the map. It posed a small risk to them, but it was pretty unlikely they were going to get into trouble, and it freed you up. So at the start of the game,
mm.
you're doing all the looting. Now you've got a few people in your base. They're going to come and do it for you. You can move faster through the game. You've got more resources because you've got more people, and you can't skip that step initially because you have to do it to start with. It's the game going, this is a real part of living in a zombie sandbox, but we're now rewarding you, and we can speed things up. You can get someone to come here and do it. You can do the next house. You can do it with them, so it's twice as fast. Um, yeah, it was a fun thing
That's
to
super
do.
cool.
Dying Light 2, sorry, State of Decay 2, you can't do that. It's just not in the game. It is,
Oh.
for all intents and purposes, the same game. It's prettier. It I wouldn't say it runs better, but it's prettier. And there's more maps available. And once you've actually looted everywhere, you can get in a car and do a quest that takes you to a different map. So there's a
Nice.
range of maps, and it gives us sort of long range playability. There are different mechanics in 2. Don't get me wrong. There's plague hearts and things. They've increased some of that risk. There's some really hard modes. It was one of those games I didn't appreciate that people really like playing on hard, so they made an even harder mode for people to play. Um, You don't need to know the story. You get little references to it. Again, nods, rewards for the returning player that don't lock out the new player. But in Dying Light 2, for God's sake, in State of Decay 2, you can get a follower to come with you, and they'll shoot zombies with you. They'll fight zombies with you. You can use their backpack, but it's really you and me are now looting this house rather than, hey guys, I've cleared this section, send someone over, I'm going somewhere else. Really disappointed that they took that out when it felt quite fundamental to me.
Yeah, it's a weird reversion.
Mm.
It's a weird backtrack on that because that sounds a really cool system, and just taking it out is a bit disappointing.
Yeah, it was, and it was a shame because it was really engaging, really engrossing in the world, and what is it you're doing? You start out by just surviving, and by end game, you've actually moved on to thriving. You've still got risks, and by the very end, so in State of Decay 2, plague hearts, you've got plague zombies, you've got this sort of second tier of zombies. They'll infect you with the zombie disease. You have to get the resources to cure and treat the zombie disease. And they'll get progressively, as you wake up a plague heart, which is dominating an area of the map, they'll get progressively harder and harder zombies. So you're encouraged to get your shit together, to be quiet and get your shit together and find the plague heart and then destroy it. Once you destroy all the plague hearts, there's still zombies, but no more plague zombies. So it's like you can sit tight and just enjoy yourself, or you can move on to another area because ultimately, eventually, you're going to loot every building on the map. Not that you sort of really do, but you get most of the way. And it just seems strange to me that that is the mechanic. Find people, save people, manage the resources on your base, go out and find new resources, but you can't use anyone else to help you get those resources when you could in the previous game.
Yeah, that's
That always
definitely
bothered me.
a bit of an odd one.
Another couple of examples we've got here of good handshakes. Well, good and bad handshakes. Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War.
Ooh,
I fucking love those games. The only dick move they
same
did
here.
was to patent the Nemesis system, so that fuck you, Warner
I'll never
Brothers.
get over that. I still lose sleep over
it. So other games can't use them. Outside of that, which even I go and it's kind of Fallout, not so much Skyrim anymore, but I played Skyrim like on the day it released. I got out of bed at midnight to play Skyrim.
Same.
I've played enough Skyrim for now. Fallout 4 and Shadow of War, I tend to go back to at least once a year, just for a couple of weeks. I'm still finding elements in the Nemesis system for Shadow of War that I just went, oh, that's really clever. They've done that so well. For those who don't know the games, Lord of the Rings IP, and essentially you're capturing and taking over orcs and using them to infiltrate areas, and then taking over maps, which are individual points of interest that are lore friendly to the Lord of the Rings stuff. The Lord of the Rings nerds will know the names. You have your own sort of ring. You're with Celebrimbor, the guy who made the rings. You take over orcs and you send them in. The orcs might betray you or not. They have different skills, stats. They'll fight amongst each other. And the Nemesis system means the orcs remember you. And so if you killed one in a certain way and they came back, or you're fighting one a certain way and they escaped, or they kill you, but you come back because you're kind of a wraith, they remember and they reference it and the things you do to them. If they defeat you, they become stronger, they level up. But if you're controlling certain orcs, you can give them particular skills and armor and things and send them off to fight other orcs. You can shame them, you
It's
can do
so
all sorts
good.
of things, and they really remember how you previously interacted with them.
And like how you killed them as well. And like
Yeah,
how if you use fire, they'll become the burned or something.
yeah,
Or like
they'll get a
poisoned is
new
something
name
else.
if they
It's super
survive.
cool.
You often you'll think you've killed them, and then they'll come back and it'll say like cheated
Hmm.
death, or they'll have a friend. But they're all mechanics that you can use. So you kill one orc, another orc goes, "That was me friend," because all the orcs are fucking Cockney, except for like one
Like
group.
blood brother or something.
Yeah,
It's like they reference a lot.
that's right. But you can also do that with your own orcs, and I really like it when there's an enemy
Yeah.
mechanic that you can use. It always shits me when it's like the enemies have these powers, but you can't use any of those. Anyway, good luck. And they do that really well.
Yeah. I like
Shadow,
the scenes you get when you're invading castles and fortresses.
Yep.
there's like a mini cutscenes between all of your guys,
Yeah, and they
and
all
their
chat.
own little personalities come out and like little voice lines, and then like you could even send infiltrators in to like, try and backstab
That's
people,
right.
and
And you have to do a little
it's
mission,
so
and they'll infiltrate
immersive.
the leaders. So when you're taking over a base, they'll backstab or they'll cheat, and they'll cheat you. You're
Yes,
never
they can
very
double
confident.
cross.
You can do double cross. Sometimes they'll come out of the woodwork and save you. Um, really, it's just Lord of the Rings Tamagotchi. It's the way we always wanted it to be. So Shadow of Mordor really is just a smaller version of Shadow of War. There's two
Yeah,
maps in Shadow of Mordor, if I remember rightly. Decent quest. They just expanded on the whole thing. There's a few mechanics they drop. Um, you didn't have to, but you could collect all the plants and all the flowers, and you had to do it in a certain
yes.
order, I think, in the first one. You got some bonus for doing it. It might have just been XP. It's been a very long time since I played the first one. The second one, so the ending of the first one, great story, really exciting, left you really excited for the second game. Whatever, 4 years
Hmm.
later, whatever it was, the second game comes out. Um, it's just prettier, many more maps. It's just they understood the mechanics of what you liked and what the game loop was. Um,
Hmm.
Here's just a heck load more of it, which was really good. The
I think
one
Gollum's in it
thing,
as well, isn't there?
he's in both of them. He turns up for a few
Oh,
noncy
both. Okay.
side quests, yeah. Um, which is fine. Again, it's Lord of the Rings IP. You know, it's cool. They're just little quests for extra XP. There's a lot of side quests. The game is almost a side quest
Yeah.
simulator. The main story's there. You're not really in a rush. It's that genre of game. What are they? Is it just action RPG like Assassin's
It's like
Creed
fight your own
games?
pace. Like
Yeah,
there's
it's
no time limit or anything.
I don't know what the genre is called. Assassin's Creed games aren't stealth games anymore. Assassin's Creed 1 and to a degree 2 were stealth games. I don't mind
Yeah.
that they've changed. It's an evolution. Um,
I enjoy the change because I'm terrible at stealth.
okay. Um, so it's whatever genre the Assassin's Creed games are now, or the Batman Arkham games. It's that genre.
Yeah.
You've got a very specific set of skills. You've got a lot of skills that you unlock. You can do stealth to a degree, which is good fun in the Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War games. And it's lore friendly because you've got these bogus powers, but you need to get better at them. I will say, and you got this a little bit in Dying Like the Beast, but only a little bit. You have so many skills by the time you finish Shadow of Mordor, and that they are essentially all available to you when you start Shadow of War. Now, there is a degree if you get pushed back, but I remember playing the starting sort of scene. I think you're heading towards Shelob or something right at the very beginning.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, the muscle memory's coming back to me. I've got all these skills. That's fine for me. I played the previous one. This would be really jarring for a brand new player. And in a sense, it's cool that they're all there. But if you're a brand new player and you're just button mashing, and I'm like, why am I throwing daggers? Aren't I hitting with my sword? Especially on PC, the key bindings take a moment to get used to. Um, that's one thing I worry about if it turns off new players. Even though you can
Mm.
just like hit escape, go to the menu, and look at all your skills. I was about a third of the way through Dying Like the Beast when I realized in the skill tree, if I click on Kyle Crane's portrait, it tells me all the skills from the previous game I currently have.
Really?
Yeah, you've got a range of those skills. Yeah, because the
I
one
was Googling.
I love that. The one thing I was missing was throwing zombie, like when they lunge at you and you grab them by the head and you just punt them off. Um,
Yeah.
because the one mechanic they fixed in Dying Light 3, which wasn't working in Dying Light 2, to the best of my knowledge, if I threw an enemy off a building and they die, I never got XP for that. But
You're right.
In Dying Light 3, you did. And I went, I remember them, they'd lunge at you and it would say, like, press F. And that's how you knew that you could punt them off a building. It just doesn't tell you to press F. It's still there. So is your tic-tac-toe and your wall running. It's all still there. You just go to the skill tree, which is much smaller in Dying Light 3 than it was in the previous games. Just
Mm.
click on your portrait in the middle. There's all your skills. And at
Oh, I'm
some
embarrassed.
point, I missed when it happened. At some point, you get these two other icons where you've kind of just leveled up. It's like, you know what? Now you're better at climbing. It's faster now. When did that happen? Forget about it. You're getting better. Um, so yeah, that was the Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War. Yeah, and that's my big thing. When it comes to sequels, do I have to play the previous game to play the latest game? Will it make sense? Will I understand what's going on? Or will it be so far removed from the story? I have played games like that. I don't remember what they are because I didn't enjoy them. But will I be so far removed from the story because it's so dependent on what happened in the previous game that I just won't care? And that's a part of the risk.
Yeah, I definitely get stuck feeling like that too with a lot of games when it's like something 5 or 4.
Sure.
I'm just my eyes just avoid it now at this point.
Well, that's right.
I
You just avoid
it's
it.
so
Yeah.
much.
What's the game? It's not Dragon Age. It's the sci-fi version of Dragon Age. Mass Effect.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's it.
So everyone
Oh,
tells me Mass Effect are amazing, but I think they're up to Mass Effect 3 now. The next Mass Effect game is Mass Effect 5. Was announced in 2020,
oh,
but is still in pre-production. I'm sure they're
oh.
awesome, and there's that part of my brain that wants to play them in order. And for me, at least, if there's a good story, I want to know what it is. I can play Tekken 112 because I don't give a shit about the Tekken story. What Tekken story? There is one. There is one, but it's a sprinkle. That's not what we're
Yeah.
here for.
Same as Mortal Kombat in my case.
Yeah. I own all the Witcher games. I picked up The Witcher 1 a long time ago, and I was chatting to a friend before I bought it. It was on special. He said, no, it's good, but play it on hard because there's this cool potion system that you just don't need if you play it on normal. But if you play it on hard, you need the
Ah,
potions, and the potions are actually a big part of the actual story and the lore. The Witcher 1 is also quite janky because it's an old fucking game. And so there's areas where I've passed that are really easy that other times I go to play it again and I don't get past. And I'm like, what is this? I'm like, because my experience for gaming and my expectation is now different because I'm playing newer games. So when parry
right.
is it's a skill you get, not a skill you use. When parry is a passive effect, it's a little weird. It's like was it blocking in the original in Morrowind? Blocking was a skill. It was a passive skill.
I
The
think
higher it
so.
was,
Yeah.
the higher was like the roll chance that someone hits you with a sword and you go, oh, and boop it with your shield. I really like the story and that I own all three of the Witcher games. I just won't play number 2 and number 3 until I finish the first one, which is stupid because I hear like the Wild Hunt and
I know
stuff,
what you mean though.
right?
100% I know
Thank
what you
you.
mean.
I feel seen.
Like
I want to play the others. They're meant to be awesome, but I just want to finish. I want to do them in order.
it's like Mass Effect, like you were saying. I didn't play Mass Effect 1 because it wasn't on the console I had. And I was at my friend's and he had Mass Effect 2. So I was like, oh, yeah, I'll give it a
Yep.
go because Halo 2 was my first Halo. So I was like, yeah, it'll be fine.
Yep.
I didn't understand anything that was going on. It felt like I was just going from point A to point B to meet people. I had no idea who they were, which I felt like I should have known who they were. So yeah, it was very hard to just jump in it too.
Yeah.
But watching Midnight play through 1, 2, and 3, I believe we played through all 3.
I think he did.
I understood it so much more,
Yeah, okay.
especially having someone playing it for me. I can pay attention to the minutiae of other things, pick up voice lines that I might normally miss on my playthrough. So that's, yeah, it was definitely useful watching someone else play it. But I think it's a bit too old of a game for me now to play
Yeah.
fresh
Yeah.
without the nostalgia.
Like I'm totally fine to play Skyrim, but when I like have mates who go, oh, I never actually played Skyrim, but I pick it up and they're like, this is janky as fuck. I'm like, yes, but shut up. It's a perfect game.
Yeah.
Shut your face. Like I adore Morrowind. I actually bought Morrowind again, less
Nice.
than 12 months ago. Got it on is it GOG Games,
Yeah.
or just GOG. It's like $3. It was all 3 games. I remember like a friend of mine had the expansions to Morrowind, but I didn't have them, and I was trying to like pirate them from a friend, and we had issues with his CD burner versus my install shield, and it's like, how do I change my install shield? I'm 13. So that was that was fun for me to be able to pick it up. And weirdly, you play a game that's got bad graphics, but you remember it as being amazing, and then you go back and play it, and you go,
Mm,
I remember this game being so much prettier than it was, or this movie being so much prettier than it was. I was playing Morrowind, and I'm like, no,
so
this
much.
this is how I remember, like complete vanilla. This I'm not upset. The music's nice. There's
That's
little
good. That's good.
mechanics that do make it feel more like I'm living in the world than I get in Skyrim. So much I forgot. Um, so I found that a lot of fun.
One cool thing about older consoles, kind of PS1, PS2 time, is how the TVs used to render them. There's like code
Mm,
on the disc designed to specifically match how those old school TVs render the game.
oh, that's
So
so good.
if you're rendering it on a modern flat screen or something, because I believe the type of passing they use is different now.
Hmm.
When you watch it on an old school monitor, it will look so much higher quality because they're manipulating physical pixels
Oh, that's
inside the
so
engine.
good. Yeah,
And I love that stuff. That's so it hits my brain right. I
yeah.
just because
Well,
they're squeezing every pixel, every bit of quality they can out of it.
it's such a knowledge of the process and the end user as well. I mean, when you make, I
Hmm.
saw a really good documentary on the guys that, not real, it was the only documentary I've ever seen. The guys that made Mist and Riven.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, and that was super cool. But they talk about how, which is something I never had to consider in my entire life, when you publish a game, because there's read speed and there's only so much the computer can keep in its own internal memory without having to go back to the disk and check, you have to determine
Mm.
where on the disk you put that block of information on your CD. Like I'm going to have to Google a
Yep.
picture of a fucking CD for the podcast. Um,
Like the data mapping breakdowns are crazy when you see actually all the quadrants and how they intersect.
yeah, and how
It's
they
just
go, well, this level's after this level, so I need to put it as close as I can here, but this level had like an animation, and that's big, but I don't want a big loading time between this one and that one. And when I played Morrowind on Xbox, because a friend of mine had an Xbox, so I went, I'll finish it on Xbox. Um, there was really, really long loading scenes. And being a PC gamer first and foremost, I've always struggled with consoles. Where a friend of mine's like, "It looks so pretty," and I'm like, "It looks like garbage played on a PC." Um, the really long loading scenes for Morrowind on Xbox was because the game was actually restarting your Xbox because it ran out of
Yeah,
system memory. And like the fact that it
which
could
is
just back
crazy.
background turn your Xbox off and on again and you don't notice and the music keeps playing, that's rad.
It's
And I
crazy.
think just
I love it.
your point of interacting with the TVs, the reason you don't get like Time Crisis games anymore, where you point at your TV with a laser gun, is because,
Yeah, the light guns.
however, I don't know enough about how it works, but that it was something to do with the television and how it actually spoke to the
Processed in
gun.
lines of information, I
Right.
believe. And it would be something like your gun would activate and take a picture of the screen behind the screen or something strange,
Like on the
and it would
Shadow
relay
Mask or
it into the
something.
game. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's super crazy.
'Cause I remember studying cathode rays when I did like programming and animation at school. Um, and like, it's literally a laser gun that sits behind your TV and shoots onto the glass. Like, that is fucking amazing. Everyone's like,
It's
oh,
so sci-fi.
I hope we'll invent holograms one day. It's like, we had holograms and it was 1995 and it was peak technology. We just need to shoot them into like a glass, like three-dimensional object and not a two-dimensional piece of glass, and then we'll have holograms. Like, that'd be rad. Um,
Yeah, just pop it in a prism.
Yeah, yeah, crazy, crazy stuff that would just we totally over-engineered, and then like, oh yeah, flat screen TVs are fine.
Uh,
Uh, last
yeah.
question, dude. What's your favorite conspiracy theory?
Oh, well, I do love getting into the nitty-gritty of
Yeah,
conspiracy theories.
yeah, do it,
Because on
please.
one side you got all the serious ones, and on the other side you get the goofy ones. I'm
Yep,
a huge fan of the
that's
goofy.
that's this whole
Like,
podcast is about. I don't know if you've watched any of the other episodes. It's finding the joy in what other people are interested in. It's easier with streamers because we can talk about video games and stuff, but we've got like one of the episodes is a drag race episode. One of the people that came to my chat for a while was a drag queen. I'm like, I don't know anything about it. Let's chat. It was really interesting.
hell yeah,
It was really interesting. Go through the
nice.
history of that and finding all the old images. I just love conspiracy theories. Because I love a good story and the creativity behind it. Some of them are
Mm.
just far fetched and ridiculous. Um, And then you start to get to some where you go, well, I want to learn a little bit more about this before I flat
Yeah.
out tell you you're
Before
a
I make
dickhead.
fun of this
Yeah.
on a recording,
Mm.
I need to do my due diligence.
Before I publicly tell you you're a fuckwit, just let me double
Oh, yeah.
check. Because it is interesting how you never see this happen in that situation. All right, favorite conspiracy theory, go.
Birds aren't real.
Oh, but I
One of my
see
favorites.
them. Why do you think that birds
Oh,
aren't real?
well, like everyone on the world knows,
Mm.
the federal government of the United States of America
Mhm.
exterminated every single bird between 1959 and 1971, replacing them with look-alike drones that the government used to spy on everybody.
In the entire world? Or
At
just
least
America?
America.
At least,
At least
at
America.
least America.
At least
Yeah,
America.
I mean, drone technology
Because
in 1971. Eat your heart out.
there was in 2018 as well, which added fuel to the fire of this.
Good.
Because this originally came from, I think, late 2010s. I think 2009 time was when this first reared its head. But in 2018, China unveiled bird drones.
Good. Yeah. Oh, I actually vaguely think I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. They went all around the world, like the news, I mean,
Hmm.
and they're fully using surveillance bird drones, which reignited the conspiracy theory of the fake birds.
That's so
And
good.
I had a look through the official Wikipedia page of the fake birds, and there's two lovely key facts that I like. One, there's no baby pigeons. No one sees baby pigeons anymore, which is apparently one of the leading arguments for this.
Yeah. As opposed to all those other times you see baby birds of any kind because they live in a nest and generally don't do anything until full plumage.
Yep.
Just like you've never seen a baby bird of anything else ever. Except maybe like young seagulls get out and about. You can see the pattern there. And if, like chicks, ducklings.
Or maybe a baby chicken, yeah, or a duckling, like at most.
Because they're bright
But,
yellow.
like,
Yeah. I love
and
it.
then the other
Never
part, which
see
is
baby pigeons.
extra ridiculous.
Yep.
Bird poop is apparently tracking devices, which these drones are leaving on special targets.
Well, my car must be a pretty special target. Okay.
They
yeah.
really like my back window.
Yeah.
Like, man.
There you go. That's. It must be really awkward
But
for all those like chicken and turkey farmers in the United States, just killing their birds come like Christmas time or whatever, and they're just robots. That's just
It's
awkward
just
for
electronics everywhere.
Mm.
And like, I love how they get charged up from sitting on power lines. Like they just be sitting on power lines, and then that's why they get fully charged.
Oh,
People wonder how these drones aren't how they powered. Power lines. That's what power lines are for, baby.
That's how that works, man. It's just wireless charging in 1971 drone technology.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. There you go, everybody. Birds aren't real. Brad, what does the MF stand for in your name? Because I keep calling you Brad Motherfucker.
It could stand for anything.
Nice.
At the moment, it was magic. It's magic fingers. Last week it was Mato face, because for Spooktober, for October on stream, I've been going hard this last 30 days, doing Dying Light extra stuff, and I was going to start dressing up. So on screen one day, just before stream, I started painting my face. I was like, yeah, we'll do a spooky skull.
Yeah.
Turns out I'm allergic to very cheap face paint.
Ooh.
So my whole face, I've still got some of the the damage, the wrinkles.
That's a trick, not a treat.
My whole face turned bright red. So now, as a little homage to that moment, my chat wanted me to buy a tomato costume.
Good.
So as you can see, I do have my green screen on currently. But
yeah, that's fine.
So...
Look, I find with chat, if chat can't interact with you direct, like in your game, like Rim Connect, for example, they're extraordinarily supportive and they only want the very best for you, and they'll cheer you on, and it's GG's and it's well done. And the moment they can actually make you do anything at all, they can't wait to watch you fucking burn.